Hello again, good evening. This is Business Live. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Biafi. In this edition, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems GIPS will honor the most active e-payment bank as well as best E-zwich bank as part of the 15th edition of the Ghana Banking Awards, which comes off tomorrow, Saturday, August 27. Management of Ghana Gas says the demonstration by workers at the Atuabo processing plant will not affect operations of the company in any way. And the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana lauds government's decision to grant tax reliefs to businesses and individuals that invest in the AGRIC sector. All right, so these are the headlines we're working with this evening. Do stay tuned as we take a short break and come back shortly after this.
Business Live today is brought to you by GCB Bank.
Thank you very much for staying and welcome back to Business Live. Now, it is that time of the year again when banks look forward to being recognized for excellence in their various fields of endeavor and their areas of operation as well. Now, we are talking about the prestigious Ghana Banking Awards, the 15th edition, which comes off tomorrow evening at the Kempinski Hotel here in Accra. There's more in this report.
For the banks, the coveted Bank of the Year award is always the ultimate target due to the bragging rights it offers them as a market leader. But how about the customers? Do these awards have any bearing on their decisions at all? We asked some bank customers.
Okay, it will be the first that I'll consider a bank that has won an award. It will be the first now consider because a bank that has not won an award, no matter how big or popular, it means that what you are doing may not benefit me because awards are given to people, those who have doing something that is benefiting at least almost everybody.
Some banks are there, when you go and save money there, they'll run with your money and you can't earn like much from this. You have to gain interest back, but such like banks, you can't gain any interest. So for me, like I'll go for the ones which have won many awards because that means the bank is good and people have.
The award doesn't really mean anything. That's personally anyway. So depending on what benefits I get for my business or whatsoever I'm into, either a student or maybe I'm a lecturer or maybe I have a business or so it depends on my own personal benefit. That's what influences my choice for a bank.
If the bank has got so many awards and maybe it hasn't reached me, I wouldn't mind to go there, but on conditions of getting there and I get to know that the awards they had is in vain, I also take a decision.
When I'm choosing a bank, I would like to, when I see that the bank has gotten awards from recognized bodies in the country or by the people that awards the awarding body, it gives me the confidence that okay, I can trust these people with my money.
And what of the Bank of the Year? Well, according to EcoBank, last year's ultimate winner, the impact on its operations cannot be overemphasized. Patricia Sapo is the head of corporate communications.
The Banking Awards, I think it's an excellent exercise. It's a good exercise. as it recognizes and rewards excellence in the banking industry. And for us in EcoBank Ghana, the award has really been impactful because, first of all, it has strengthened the brand, it has enhanced the brand, it has reinforced the fact that, we are doing something right because the feedback is from our customers. So it's just a testament of the good work we are doing. So one, it's assured our clients that, we are on the right path. But basically, it has assured us we are doing the right thing. We are doing what our customers expect. And probably we are even delivering beyond their expectation.
The 15th edition of the Ghana Banking Awards comes off tomorrow evening at the Kempinski Hotel. It is organized by Corporate Initiative Ghana and supported by Joy Business.
Meanwhile, the awards board says all is set for a historic awards ceremony this year. Chairman of the board, Nana Utue-Champong, has been speaking to Joy Business about the preparation so far, as well as the methodology for evaluating the banks.
Very ready. We have finished the survey because the Banking Awards is based on quantitative and qualitative survey. Quantitatively, we look at the financials of the banks involved, and qualitatively, we interview through our researchers, customers of the banks, both at the retail level and at the corporate level. And I'm pleased to say that the surveyors completed their assignment, so it's now with the event statistician.
All right, so as part of efforts to promote electronic cash transactions over the use of physical cash towards the cashless economic agenda, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, will be honoring the most active e-payment bank as well as E-zwich bank as part of the awards. Now, moving on, dominating the retail banking space would be one of the major priorities for management of Union Savings and Loans, which will soon be known as Omni Bank Limited. The company has been undergoing restructuring and recapitalization in the last 4 years. Management says all is set for it to transit to a universal bank come September 12.
Union has been operating in Ghana since 1989 as a Tier 2 bank with a focus on SME development. The transition to universal bank status would enable the company to take on additional services and meet the needs of its customers, which are growing by the day. Speaking to Joy Business at an engagement with clients in Accra, Managing Director of Union Savings and Loans, Philip Otimes, has said its focus as an SME bank would not change. He explains the switch would enhance its SME services.
The SME space is quite broad. Sometimes we misunderstand it. In fact, Ghana, the GDP of Ghana, SMEs contribute more than 50% of that. So this tells you that if you want to focus on that space, there's a lot in there to do. Okay? But let me add that we are upgrading. Now we are not talking about SMEs, we are talking about entrepreneurs. And you know that when you look at the African story, it has actually been built by entrepreneurs, individuals and their families. And so what we are looking at is to come into the space and support people who have vision to grow, to become big in Africa, to achieve their dreams. And so we've moved slightly up rather than staying just on SMEs.
Some customers of Union Savings and Loans who spoke to Joy Business said they expect management of the bank to prioritize customer satisfaction as they make the changeover.
Customer satisfaction. I mean, nowadays, we have mobile bank. You don't need to move to your branch to transact business. Anywhere you are, you should be able to have access to your funds. And I believe that is one of their hallmarks. And I believe if they are able to maintain that, yes, that is all. Because we move around a lot, and they should be able to help us do that. I mean, from region to region, and I believe we'll be cool with that.
As a bank, we're expecting that they would continue to serve their customers in a very efficient and competitive manner. They have said that they will do it, and we're expecting that they would stick to their promise and even add more. With regard to being an SME bank, I think it's a very good initiative. we're looking to growing local businesses. And so if a local bank, is looking at growing local businesses, I think that is a positive thing for the economy, and they must be supported to do so.
With an initial capital of 5 million Ghana cedis, Union Savings and Loans currently boasts of over 140 million Ghana cedis as capital strength, operating 21 branches across the country.
Away from banking, workers of the Atuabo gas processing plant in Takrady in the Western region today demonstrated on the premises of the plant. According to the workers, their action was influenced by some safety lapses which put the processing plant in danger. The workers maintained that fire safety systems at strategic installations have been seriously compromised. Let's hear some of the agitations of the workers.
The management is very bad. We also have a system that does not recognize hard work and reward it. Simply put, we have very bad working conditions here. I mean, we have a system that is not looking out for the welfare, even the plant that we suffered to build. We have people who have been on the plant and working under the Chinese for close to 2 years, and the agreement was that we look after them, they train us in the next year, and they will take over by the second year. It has been ineffective. We are calling for Ghanaians to be employed. We are capable of managing the plant. We are capable of taking over from them and having the specialized training done for our own Ghanaians so that we can manage this plant. As we speak, you won't believe it. This is a plant that has fire extinguishers which have expired for more than 8 months. And when engineers took a drastic action by bringing these fire extinguishers out, they were giving queries and stuff. This is how the gas plant is being managed. The $1 billion project that we spend taxpayers' money in building, this is how it's being managed. We have a very high level of inefficiency in the management system of Ghana Gas. Gas plant is considered as one of the most explosive plants you can ever think of. Even the home gas cylinders are dangerous. We have fire extinguishers which have expired for more than 8 months here. We brought them out after it failed to work during a fire situation here. We brought all of them out to the reception, and to our surprise, the engineers were rather giving queries.
All right, so those were some agitations of Ghana Gas workers at the Takrady Atuabo processing plant. Meanwhile, management of the company has assured the demonstration will not affect the plant or its operations. Communications manager of Ghana Gas, Alfred Ogbami, has been speaking to George Riafe on this issue.
It will not affect operations in any way, in the sense that even if the numbers had turned up, we would not have been affected. There were contingencies already in place to keep the plant going. Most of the people who were expected to turn up who didn't were people who were off duty. You know, we run shifts, night shift, day shifts, and all that. So they were anticipated that a number of the guys who were on the evening shifts or off duty would, between 1:20 to 1:50, sorry, would turn up for the event. Apparently, only about 20 to 30 did. And they had to abandon the event midway. Work is ongoing, gas is being supplied. Nothing whatsoever has been affected. Indeed, as I speak to you, and I told you much earlier, there's a scheduled planned maintenance shutdown, scheduled one coming off from the 31st to the 7th. And indeed, some of these things will be replaced. These are not things that have been.
Now, the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana has lauded government's decision to grant tax reliefs to businesses and individuals that invest in the AGRIC sector. The revised income tax law, among other provisions, grants a 10-year tax holiday to AGRIC investors as part of incentives to attract and spread investments across the country. The president of the institute, Ni Aiti, says this holds long-term benefits for the tax system. He was speaking at the sidelines of the 6th African Annual International Tax Conference in Accra under the theme Strategies for Revenue Mobilization in Contemporary Times, Challenges in Tax Legislation. Ebenezer Sabote was there.
The Ghana Institute of Taxation Act 2016, Act 916, will make the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana an autonomous body to operate as a corporate entity. This means it can take legal actions against any individual for going contrary to its directives. The act was passed by Parliament at its last sitting. In an address, President of the Institute, Ni Aite, noted that the act, among other things, will charge the Institute to advocate tax payment policies for the country. He hailed the revised income tax law among other provisions, which grants a 10-year tax holiday to AGRIC investors as part of incentives to attract and spread investments across the country.
You realize that a provision has been made where even during periods of concession, the persons are to pay a certain minimal amount of tax at the rate of 1%. So what we are talking about is the tax reform that are going on. And it lends itself to what we are doing now, because the structure of legislation itself, the way the legislation is crafted, goes a long way to determine the success or otherwise of the efficiency of the tax system.
This year's Africa International Taxation Conference is under the theme Strategies for Revenue Mobilization in Contemporary Times, Challenges in Tax Legislation. Minister of Education, Professor Jainana Opoku-Agyeman, in a speech, called on members of the Institute to restructure the old policy systems to meet the demands of the current generation. She also advised tax experts to consistently publish books on taxation to serve as a guide to the citizenry.
One of the things we need to think about is why things are the way they are. More people need to pay more taxes. We talk about broadening the tax net. Of course, it is important. But I would like to submit that what makes our economies informal? By what definition do we arrive at that classification that allows us to feel so helpless in the face of the majority of the people who are not able to contribute to the services that we all need? What paradigm shift must we have? Why is it that everything that we have grown or that is directly related to us is described as informal or non-formal? And you can do this for any discipline, whether it is education or it's health or it's anything at all. It is informal. But we know these have survived over years and they still do survive. So how should we begin to think of the systems that we have inherited? What language should we use? What words should we use? What should be the history of the words that we are using?
The conference also throws light on challenges in tax legislation that impact on strategies for revenue mobilization in the modern era.
Let's now have some updates of international business news. You're welcome back to Business Live. It's now time for the interview of the day. Now, since it was founded by Patrick Ewua, Ashesi University has been focused on an educational model which aims to empower students to be entrepreneurial leaders with problem-solving skills. Speaking to Joy FM's Inshira Ado about this, Patrick Ewua explained it is important to teach students to be curious, be able to analyze and process information in order to develop their own insights about what they are reading. Let's get the details.
We believe very strongly that it is really important to educate people in such a manner that they can be problem solvers and that they can create new products, new companies, and so on in Africa. And so our educational model is really based on the idea of giving our students agency, giving them, sort of empowering them to be problem solvers and empowering them to think of themselves as the people who are going to solve problems, who are going to grasp opportunities in Africa, and who are going to get this continent to rise economically and culturally.
Let's talk a little bit about your era, and I'm talking more the education that you had before Swarthmore.
Right.
So you'd have gone through the O and A level system.
That's
Today
right.
we have the junior high school and senior high school.
Right.
There's a school of thought that we departed the road to greatness when we switched our educational system. What's your take?
Right. So my take is we departed the road to greatness when we destroyed Ghana's economy. And it is the case that the switch from the O-level, A-level system to the junior high, senior high system happened at the same time. And so people think it was the switch to junior and senior high was a cause. But actually, at that time, we had a big exodus in this country. A lot of teachers left, a lot of professors left. Our economy went into a very deep crisis. A lot of businesses folded. And that had very deep, serious ramifications throughout the country, in education, in health, in infrastructure, everywhere. And so the way we move forward, I think, if you look at the curriculum, the junior high school, senior high school system, it's actually not a bad curriculum, and in some ways it's stronger than the O-level, A-level system.
All right, so do remember to catch the full version of the interview with Patrick Iwa this Saturday on Joy News Channel at 5:30 p.m. and of course with a repeat on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Many thanks for joining me on the show from Monday to Friday. It's been indeed a great pleasure having you on board, and I believe you will join us again same time next Monday for another interesting development in the world of business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. You can tweet at JoyBusinessGH, Facebook Joy Business, and for more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Good evening and keep watching.